Namaste, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A very warm welcome to yet another session of Weekend with Wisdom. Let me begin with a prayer. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sadashiva Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavatt Vyapta Dehaya श्री दक्षिणामूर्ते नमः। जयंती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। We are very fortunate to have with us Swamini Sadvidyananda Saraswati ji. Thank you very much, Swamini ji, for making time despite your classes and other commitments. Swamini ji will be speaking today on a very important topic, Samatvam, equanimity in Bhagavad Gita. We are especially living in a very difficult times with lots of stress and disasters and many unexpected accidents everywhere happening. So at such a time, Samatvam is one thing which is very, very important to wade through the difficulties. And Swaminiji will be highlighting on different aspects of it. A very warm welcome to you, Swaminiji. Again, thank you for
Hari Om,
making time.
Namaste, thank you.
Just a brief introduction to Swaminiji. Swamini Sadvidyananda Saraswati ji is a disciple of Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji of Arsha Vidya Gurukulam. And she is she has been teaching Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and other Vedantic texts in Gujarati, in different towns of Gujarat like Navasari, Bardoli, Bilimora, and other places for the last 25 years. And under the banner of her trust, Arsha Vidya Tirtha, she has translated and published more than 37 books of her guru into Gujarati. From 1998 to 2003, she also translated the voluminous book on Bhagavad Gita, that is the Gita Home Study, into Gujarati for the benefits of those who want to understand Bhagavad Gita in their mother tongue of Gujarati. Swaminiji has also presented papers in various conferences such as National Education Conferences in Pune and Gwalior, Sri Vidya International Conference in Mysuru, Namami Shankara, and many other conferences held across the country. Swaminiji, again, welcome to you. Please go ahead and start your sessions. Viewers, if you have any questions, please put it in Q&A box. The last 5-10 minutes, Swaminiji will take up some of those questions. Thank you very much. Swaminiji, please go ahead.
Om. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः. Namaste to all. As Nitinji has mentioned, today's topic is Samatvam in Gita. There are so many places where Bhagavan has used word Samatva or Sama. But contextually we have to see what is the meaning and that particular verses. So, as per Vedanta, there are three categories we can make. One category is called Karma Yoga. Another category we can say the Bhakti. And third category is a wise person, realized person. Or we can say Lakshana of Gnani. So, if we look into these different verses, there are so many verses are there. But we'll take selected verses for our discussions. So we all know Siddhya Siddhyo Samayo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. The first one is what? Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva. सिद्धि असिद्धि, अब देखिए, समः समत्वम योग उच्यते. भगवान कहते हैं, भगवान इज टेलिंग सिद्धि असिद्धि. सिद्धि मीन्स सक्सेस, असिद्धि मीन्स अनसक्सेस, फेलियर. अब देखिए, समः सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा, being the sama, equal in the success and the failure. Now, this is called contradiction. Whole Bhagavad Gita is full of contradiction. This is also contradiction, understand? Why? Because these two opposites are given, siddhi or asiddhi. Now, when siddhi and asiddhi opposites are given, then how can you, Bhagwan, say samaha bhutva atik? We have to understand this. Then how it can be a samatva? Because already the two opposites are there. And not only that, Bhagavan is telling samatvam yoga uchyate. That samatvam is called yoga. That samatvam is karma yoga. So how is it possible that Swamiji used to tell us that from the standpoint of the karma, there cannot be samatvam. Every karma is different. Eating, walking, talking, different. Karma phala also, when you look at it, it's not same. No. Every action has a very particular karma phala. Not only that, even our intention for performing action also is not same. So intention is not going to be the same. Karma is not going to be the same. Karma phala also are not going to be same. Then how is going to be samaha? Because all are different. And so, therefore, now we have to look into this one, that how to get that samatvam. Not only here in 2nd chapter. In 13th chapter, when Bhagavan is talking about the different means, values are given, there also Bhagavan mentions Ishtanishta papattisu samatva. अब देखिए, samabuddhi. अब देखिए. So many places Bhagavan is using this sama word. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha mana apamanayoho. अब देखिए. So, Bhagavan is using these two opposites and expecting us to be sama. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatha mana apamanayoho. Look at. So, this samatva we have to understand. It is not that person to person it is same. Every person is a unique person. Every person intentions also are different. Karmas also are different. Karma phala also are different. Then when Bhagavan is telling samaha, how we can get that samatva? So, Shankaracharya says, and Pujya Swamiji very nicely says, that When we look into the siddhi or asiddhi, look at, for siddhi, there is another word we use. Asiddhi also, there is another word in Sanskrit. I won't tell that word now. But whatever action we are performing, according to our action, we get the result of the action. We perform the action, karma. We get the result of the action, karma phala. Ab dekhiye. So karma is there, then there is a karma phala. So it is a phala. Understand? But when we are performing action, there is an expectation is there. So apeksha, expectation is apeksha. Understand? So there is a kind of the expectation is there that this, for this kind of the result of the action, this kind of the action I am performing. And nobody is going to perform action without any expectation. जो आज कल, in Hindi people say, कर्म करो फल की अपेक्षा ना करो. That the expectation, the result only is going to decide the action. The course of action is going to be decided according to the result of the action. So how can you say na apeksha? Understand? That's why Shankaracharya says, phalam anuddishya mandopina pravartate. Without keeping any phala uddishya, any expectations of the result, even the manda won't perform any action. He has his own way of expectation, understand? But he does that. So that means there is a expectation is there already. Then only that action can be decided. Understand? And therefore, that apeksha is there. That apeksha get us the marking. So suppose there are children are appearing for the exams. Then two students are there. They're friends. And both of them have their own way of intellect, their own way of writing, their own way of appearing for exam. And so, when they are performing, they're appearing for exams, they are going to have the expectation of the result. And nowadays, all the parents, they do the assessment. What is the assessment? Oh, in maths, you will have this much, and then English this much. Look at this. So then they will do the assessment. Now, the first student, he has expectations that I will score 80%. The second one had expectations that I will score more than 90%. Understand this? Now, this our expectations. When we have expectations, there are 4 possibilities are there. I get exactly what I expected. I get less than what I expected. I get more than what I expected. I get opposite of the expectations. Understand? Exactly as per the expectations, more than expectation, less than expectations, and opposite of the expectation. So our expectations are there, and that expectation is going to serve this one. Understand? Now what happens? Now these both students are there. Then what will happen? The the first one had expectation of 80. If he get the 84, it is what? More than expectations. The person, the student who has expected more than 90, he gets an 89, it is what? Less than expectations. Do you understand what I'm telling? So your expectations is going to present itself. Now, the person who has expected 90, more than 90, if he gets 89, he's saying things what? Oh, I miss it. That means what? He take the 89 as not a success. Now understand this one. Phalam is there. One is get 84, other is 89. That is a phalam. Whatever karma they have performed, they got the karma phala. But the person who got 89, he thinks what? Oh, I miss it. And the person who was expecting 18 will get the 84. He thinks what? Oh, I'm very happy. Why? It's more than expectations. So therefore, now this 4 we have to divide into 2. Less than expectations or opposite. Suppose somebody is expecting and then he fail, There is a possibility of failing also. So failure can be there. So less than expectations or opposite is there. Opposite of expectation is there. That phalam, we add a prefix called nishphala. Do you understand now? Phalam is there. Our expectation decides nishphala. Person who gets exactly according to the expectations or more than expectation, safala. Understand? It is phalam. Our expectations put safala, success. Our expectations get nishphala, failure, asiddhi. So our expectation decide what is siddhi and what is asiddhi. And therefore, what we get is a karma phala. Our expectations put the siddhi and asiddhi. So, therefore, Shankaracharya very nicely says that whatever karma phala we are getting, we have no say over karma phala. Karmani eva tava adhikaraha ma phaleshu kadacha. So, we have the say over the actions, not over result of the action. And therefore, the karma phala is given by whom? Updesaram. Brahman Maharshi very nicely said, Karturagyaya prapyate phalam. Look at this. Karturagyaya prapyate phalam. Kartuho, Jagat Kartuho, Ishwaraha. So, whatever result of actions we are getting, that result of action is given by the Lord. Kartuhu Agyaya. So, therefore, if we want to get the samatvam, we need to recognize Ishvara as a karma phala data. Understand? So, if Ishvara is a karma phala data, and who is Ishvara? Kartuhu, Jagat Kartuhu. He is the creator. He is the creator of this entire universe. And if he is the creator of entire universe, being the creator of entire creation, we say for any creation, for the creator, there are minimum two qualities are there. One is called knowledge and the skill, know-how and the skill. And so, if Ishvara is Jagat Karta, he is all knowledge, he is all skill. In English, we call omniscient and omnipotent. If Ishvara is omniscient, Sarvagnaha, all knowledge, then there cannot be any kind of the mistake possible for the all knowledge Ishvara. Understand this. That means he is infallible. A very beautiful English word is there. Infallible. Ishvara is infallible. There is no possibility of failure. There is no possibility of mistake. There is no possibility of defect. Understand? Dosha. Understand? There is no error. And therefore, if we appreciate Ishvara as a karma phaladata, then we can say that whatever result of actions we are getting is Ishvara. Ishvara means what? Given by Ishvara. And whatever comes from Ishvara. If we go to the temple, and the temple we do namaskaram, pradakshina, and then we'll go to the pandita, pujari. And whatever he gives us, we accept that. And this. How? Prasadam. Whatever. It can be water, charanamrutam. It can be flour. It can be coconut. It can be small cloth. Chunri, what in North Gujarat we call, we offer it to Devi and we get as a prasadam, chunri. If you go to Meenakshi Madurai Mandir, you will get the kumkum. So whether it is a kumkuma, it is a coconut, it is a charanamrutam, it is a flower, what we do, we accept it. And therefore, this prasadam, Swamiji translate prasadam as cheerful acceptance. Understand? Whatever comes from Bhagavan, we accept it as a prasadam. Prasadam means cheerful acceptance. Now, Shankaracharya says, all the actions we are performing, Ishvara is the one who gives us the result of the action. That means any result of the action is a prasadam because it comes from Ishvara. So, Shankaracharya used the word prasad buddhihi. Understand? From the standpoint of the result of the action, we develop the prasad buddhi. Whether it is a siddhi or a siddhi, Bhagavan is not giving you siddhi or siddhi, understand? Bhagavan is simply giving you the result of the action. But our expectations mark it, label it. This is siddhi, this is a siddhi. But it is coming from Ishvara and therefore it is a prasada. And therefore when we develop the prasad buddhi, it is called samatvam yoga uchyate. Understand? Siddhya siddhya samobhutva. Whether it is a siddhi, success, whether it is a asiddhi, failure, whether it is a safalta or nishfalta, it is given by Ishvara and therefore we samatvam yoga uchyate, we cheerfully accept it. That is called samatvam. So, from the standpoint of the result of the action, Bhagavan says samatvam yoga uchyate. That samatvam is called prasad buddhihi. Ishvara arpada buddhi. From the standpoint of the karma, we say Ishwararpana buddhi. From the standpoint of the karma phala, we develop the prasad buddhi. And therefore, whole karma yoga is nothing but your attitude. Your attitude towards karma, your attitude towards the result of the action is called karma yoga. And in that karma yoga, Bhagavan says, Samatvam yoga uchyate. We develop the prasad buddhi, and that prasad buddhi, understand, gives us the peace of mind. Once we develop that samatva buddhi, we live the life of minimum resistance. Because there is no samatva buddhi, all the time there is a conflict. We are conflicting with ourselves. We don't accept our body. We don't accept our age. We don't accept our parent. We don't understand. There is a lot of resistance is there, non-acceptance is there. And therefore, if we develop the samatva buddhi, there is a cheerful acceptance is there. And that cheerful acceptance gets our mind quiet. There is no conflict, resistance. Sangarsha in Sanskrit it is called. Our mind is free from conflict. Our mind is free from the opposition. Our mind is free from non-acceptance. And that is called samatvam. So this is the samatvam yoga uchyate when Bhagavan samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So here the word samaha means we develop the prasad buddhi. That's called karma yoga. Then there is a very beautiful verse is there. Understand? In 6th chapter, there is a verse called Tamam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtande parameshwaram. The 18th chapter. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parameshwaram. So, this beautiful verse is there where also Bhagavan is using the word sama. I'm not finding the number of that verse if you want. I'm very bad in the number. Anybody can find that. So, samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parameshwaram. Look at this. So, this is very beautiful. Bhagavan is telling that we generally see Bhagavan as what? In the temple. But here our bhakti has to go out of the temple. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parameshwara. In 18th chapter, Bhagavan says, Ishvara sarva bhutanam ruddeshe arjuna tishtati. So, Ishvara is manifesting in the heart of every being. But it's not only being, not only in the heart of every being, understand. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. Bhuteshu, when we say, bhuteshu means, it can be bhuta means jad, chetan, everything. Char, achar, everything. Whenever we have a sarveshu bhuteshu, there are two ways we can take sarveshu bhuteshu. Shankaracharya, one place says, Brahmadi sthavaranteshu bhuteshu. Starting from Brahmaji, the highest upadhi, the highest form of the life called Brahmaji. Sthavaranta, the lowest form of the life called the Savara, the blade of grass. Understand? The grass also is Jiva for us. Understand? And so, Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Ishvara is equal. Understand? Whether it is the Upadhi of Brahmaji, the highest form of the life, or the lowest form of the life, grass blade, Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Ishvara is everywhere. So, in our devotion, we need to develop that devotion, that we see Ishvara in everywhere. Not only that, Bhuteshu, when we say, then we can say Jad and Chetan, inert, sentient, and insentient. Every Jada Vastu also, Ishvara is Tishtantam. Tishtantam means not he standing there. Tishtantam means he exists there. Tishtantam means exists. We have to see the existence of Ishvara everywhere. In Sanskrit, there is a very beautiful word is there. Sannidhihi, Sanidhya. He is everywhere. Ishvara is everywhere. Tishtantam Parameshwara. And so, real devotion is that we appreciate the presence of Ishvara everywhere. There is a presence. It's not one-day job. We need to develop that attitude, that Ishvara is everywhere. I remember once I was in Vrindavan, where Akhandanandji Maharaj, he was known as a walking library. Why? Everything he is memorized. Whether it is a Ramayana or Tulsi Ramayana or Sahitya, Chanda, Upanishad, Mahabharat, Bhagavata. So, we used to cook something and then we used to take to Maharashri. Akhandanandji Maharaj was known as Maharashri. So one day I took some dishes for him. And then, because every day I was taking, he will wait for me. And then I go, kya laaye aaj? What did you bring for me today? Very, very lovingly he was asking. So, I got all dishes in the bowl, small bowl. So then I said, oh, Maharashri, this is a vegetable pulao. This is our Gujarati kadhi. And so so somebody was in the kitchen and he dropped the vessel. And there is a sound of the vessel, because metal. Then Maharashri says, Are, pateli ko kyun rulate ho? Look at this. Means why are you hurting that vessel? We have to be careful. Everything is Ishvara. We have to handle everything as everything is Ishvara. Whether it is a Jad, a Chetan, whether it's a Char, Achar, because Tishtantam Parameshwara. We do a lot of japa, we do for Char Dham, we do for all this temple going. It is also required. I'm not telling it's not required. But we need to develop that Ishvara is everywhere. That is real bhakti. Real bhakti is that you appreciate everything Ishvara. Karma phala given. That is different. But here, samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwara. Ishvara is, if we appreciate everything Ishvara, then we won't hurt anything. We won't break anything. We understand it. We appreciate it. So, real devotion is that you appreciate everything as Ishvara. You treat everything as Ishvara. If you, certain place if you go, they call somebody, Prabhu, aiye, kaise ho? You develop that. Prabhu, aiye. We don't call the person with the name. Aiye, Prabhu. Baithiye, Prabhu. Narayan, Narayan. So, Bhagavan is telling that samam tishtantu sarvatra, Parameshwara. That Paramam Ishvara. Paramscha aso Vishwarascha. He is Ishvara, he is the one who is the ruler. Ishvara means one who rules everything. Not only that, he is a Param. He is limitless. It's not that he's sitting in heaven, he is ruling this world. Sitting in Kailas Dham, he is ruling this world. No. Deshatah, Kalatah, Vastutah, Aparichinnam Param. There is no spatial limitations. There is no time-wise limitations. There is no object-wise limitations. He is limitless. Every object, every time, every space is Ishwar. Therefore, in South India, we have Pancha Mahabhuta Lingamad. Chidambaram, that the Akasha Linga is there. It's called Chidambaram Rahasyam. Then Kalahasti, you go there. It's a Vayu Lingam. I won't get into the detail because the other half an hour it will go. Arunachalam Agni Lingam is there. There is a place called Jal Lingam. The water in the form of the linga. Whether it is a summer or it is a monsoon, the size and the shape of the lingam is same all the time. Jala Lingam. And there is a Parthiv Lingam. I think it's a Kanchi Kamkoti Mata. There is a Parthiv. So we appreciate Bhuta, Akash also is Ishvara. Vayu also is Ishvara. Agni also is Ishvara. Jalam also is Ishvara. Prithvi also is Ishvara. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshu. And therefore, more you develop this attitude, everything is Ishvara. Once we develop that, samau shatrocha mitrecha tatha mana apamana. Shatru also is what? He is Ishvara. Mitra also is Ishvara. Man, apaman, labh, alabh, labha, labho, jaya, jayo. Understand? Everything is Ishvara. Labh also is Ishvara, alabh also is Ishvara, jaya also is Ishvara, parajaya also is Ishvara. Manushya also is, Pashu, Pakshi. In Mundaka Upanishad, very nicely says, Nabhachara. Nabhe charanti iti nabhachara. All birds. Jalachara. All aquatic animals. All animals are. All plants. They are also Ishvara. We treat everything as Ishvara. All plants, Ishvara. Don't hurt them. Any animals. We don't need to hurt them. They are Ishvara. So, not only as in Samatvam Yoguchyate, we appreciate Ishvara as a Sarvagna, all knowledge, all power. But in devotion, we appreciate Ishvara everywhere. Sarvavyapi. Understand this. He is Sarvagna, he is Sarvashakti. That is Karma Yoga. Bhakti is, he is everywhere. We need to appreciate. That's Sama. See, a lot of people, they think, oh, it is see, I also use the same word. Lower form of the life. Highest form of the life. From the Upadhi, we say lower form, understand? From the standpoint of Ishvara, it is Sama. From the standpoint of Upadhi, we call highest form of life. But from the standpoint of Parameshwara, it is Sama. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam Parameshwara. Real devotion is that we see that. Swamiji used to say, you see through and through Upadhi. Every Upadhi also is Ishvara, and one who is manifesting through the Upadhi also is Ishvara. The dog also is Ishvara. The Jiva manifesting through the dog body is also Ishvara. That's why one of the word for Ishvara is Vibhu. Vibhu means what? Vividham bhavati iti Vibhu. Vividham. Many and varied forms are there. Vividham. The Ishvara is manifesting in many and varied forms. Prabhu prakarshena bhavanti iti Prabhu. Prakarshena. The perfection is there. But vividhena bhavati iti vibhu. In different forms, different names, different forms, different attitudes, different relationship. He's all. Whether you call it Prithvi, you call it water, Ishvara. In this, we know this one bhajan. Vaishnava jan to tene re kahiye, Narsi Mehta. Very popular bhajan. He has written the bhajan on this Vedanta also. Akhil Brahmand, you can understand this. Akhil Brahmand mein ekatu Shri Hari Jujave Rupe Ananta Bhas. Akhil Brahmand. There is only one Ishvara in this entire universe. And he is appearing in different. Jujava means many, varied. In different forms, in varied forms, he is manifesting. And then he says in Bhajan, Pavanatu Pani, tu means you. We are telling Bhagavan that you are everywhere. Pavanatu Panitu Bhumitu Bhudhara Vrukshathai Pulirahyo Akashe. Understand? Don't think in water Ishvara. Water is Ishvara. Pavanatu. Vayu is Ishvara, not in Vayu. Understand? Pavanatu, Panitu, Bhumitu, Bhudhara. Vruksha, Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. We need to appreciate every form, every name, every situation, every desha, every kal is Ishvara. That is our culture. For us, kal also is Ishvara. That's why in Ujjain we have what? Mahakaleshwara. Look at this. We appreciate Ishvara as a time. Kalesh, Mahakaleshwara. He is Ishvara. Time also is Ishvara. If we appreciate everything Ishvara, we learn to respect everything. We respect the time. We respect every form of life. We respect every person. Therefore, samam sarveshu, that also sama, understand. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshu. Is everywhere. Equal. There equal means what? Our religion, our scripture, our spirituality is different. Don't think Sarva Dharma Saman. No. They think there is no soul in this goat and therefore I have right to kill the goat. That's not Vedic culture. Everything is Ishvara. Not in and out. Akash is Ishvara. Vayu is Ishvara. Vruksha is Ishvara. And so, real devotion is that we appreciate Ishvara in different forms and different names. So, that's a second. Now, as I said, from the standpoint of the vision of the Vedanta, there are few verses are there. One is from the different types of the forms in life. So that is a vision of the realized person. Vidya, fifth chapter. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Swapake Cha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. The highest form of Brahmana, Vidya and Vinaya. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Brahmane. Gavi in cow. Hasti in the elephant. Shuni in the dog. Swapake, one who eats the dog meat. Dog eater. Swapake. Chandala, we call it. Panditaha Samadarshina. Whether the upadhi is sattvic upadhi of Brahmana, rajasic upadhi of cow and the elephant, or tamasic upadhi of dog and dog eaters. Brahman is sarvatra. It is one non-dual Brahman. Sama. Samadarshana. Everything is one non-dual. And from the standpoint of the relationship, there are 9 types of the relationship are there, where we have to develop the sama. In 6th chapter, Bhagavan shows that these are the relationship we have in the world with other human beings. Suhrun, Mitra, Ari, Udasina. Suhru, Mitra, Ari. Suhrut. Suhrut means what? Without any introduction, without any expectations, person comes, helps you, and goes away. You don't know even the name of the person. You don't know even the quality of the person. Understand? You didn't even expect. Suppose you are going to somewhere in the train. You have 3 bags. And the station is there, you have to get down. Then somebody suddenly, up Ajay, you get down. I will help. So you get down, he will get all your bags down, walks away. Called Suhrat. Suhrat. Because Makara is there, that's why Nakara, Suhran. Mitra. Mitra means what? Midyate. Having the same qualities or same likes and dislikes, called Mitra. Ari. Opposite. Udasin. Udasin means what? The person who doesn't get into any issue. Udasin. Shankaracharya said, Kenapi paksham na bhajate. He doesn't go for any paksha. Udasin. Madhyastha. One who try to resolve the issue between two. Madhyastha. Dveshya. One who has a hatred for you. Bandhushu. One who is relative to you. Suhrun, Mitra, Ari, Udasina, madhyastha, dveshya, bandhusu. 7. Sadhushvapicha papeshu. Sadhu, Shankaracharya says, who is sadhu? Look at the definition. Shastra anukarina. One who follows the Shastra. For whom the Shastra is the final pramana, not authority. Pramana, means of knowledge. One who follows the Shastra is called sadhu. Tad viparyaya, Shankaracharya. Opposite. One who doesn't follow the Shastra, papishu. Sarvatra samadarshana. From the standpoint of relationship, somebody can be your friend, somebody can be your opposite, shatru, enemy, ari. Somebody is your relative, somebody is your hating you, somebody is helping you, madhyastha, somebody doesn't bother, indifference, udasi. Everywhere it is one non-dual Brahman. So that Brahma drishti, sama. But the person who has this samadrashti, what is his transaction in this world? Understand, this is very important. If he sees everywhere one Brahman, how he is transacting in this world? So, Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati roja sukham va yadiva dukkham. 6th chapter again. Atmaupamyena sarvatra. He takes the upama, means example of oneself. The way he transacts in this world, he takes the example of oneself. Samam pashyati. Atma pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna. Sukham va yadiva dukkham. Whether it is a sukham means that is very conducive situation, or dukkham means it is not conducive situation. Understand? Anukula pratikula. Sukha dukkha means anukula pratikula. So Bhagavan says that this Gnani has this vision, and therefore some sarvatra samam pashyati. He sees everywhere one non-dual Brahman. But when it comes to the transactions in the world, sukham va yadiva dukkham. That means what? If this is something which is not conducive for my body, not conducive for my indriyas, not conducive for my mind, then it is not conducive for others. That's why in English, they say, you put your foot in others' shoe. Put yourself in that situation. See how you feel. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, Sayogi Paramo Matah. Bhagavan said that yogi, that wise person is the Paramaha, Utkrishtaha, Shreshtaha. Mataha. Bhagavan said, this is my opinion. In my opinion, the person who takes oneself an example and see everyone one non-dual Brahman, he is the highest Paramaha yogi. Utkrishtaha. We have to develop this. Samam pashyati. So, Shankaracharya uses the word ahinsakaha. Look at this. Wise person has the highest form of the non-violence. Why? Because he sees everything, one Brahman. And also taking oneself as an example. So you develop that non-violence, not hurting anybody. Ahimsaka. Our problem is what? We have two types of the violence. Understand this violence. That's what's going on in the world now. Everybody is there to destroy other country. Everybody wants to destroy others' economy. Everybody wants to destroy other country, other economy, other culture. They think our culture is the best culture. And so all other culture, all other religions have no right to live on this earth. Cultural, spatial, economic. Destruction is going on. Violence. Bhagavan says the highest form of the violence is the realization. You realize yourself. Atma Gnanam is non-violence. But we hurt other. That's a one violence. There is another violence which is called self-violence. Not knowing the self also is a violence. You are Satswarupa. You take yourself as a Martya, mortal. You are Chitswarupa. You are knowledge. You think about yourself as ignorant. You are Ananda. You take yourself unhappy, sorrowful. Understand? That's a violence. Taking oneself as a mortal, taking oneself as ignorant, taking oneself as unhappy. That's a violence to the self. We are hurting ourselves. I take myself as a upadhi, hurting. I take myself as a body, hurting. I take myself as a prana, hurting. I take myself as a mind, hurting. I take myself as a buddhi, hurting. I take myself an ignorant person, hurting. Understand? Hurting others, hurting oneself. Our life is violence. Look at this. Not only that, even to live the life, Panchasuna grahasasya, Panchayagyat pranashyati. Everyday life, there is a violence. All the time. Chulli, Kumbhi, Udakumbascha, Kandanam, Peshanam, Marjanam. Just to live our life, we have to perform all these actions. Chulli. Those days, the wood fire was there. So, but the wood, lot of insects are there. Udakumbascha. Water, we get water from the river, we get water from the well. We are hurting other forms of life. Marjanam, we clean a house. We kill so many spiders and ants. Kandanam, I don't know what you call in English, but when we get the paddy, then we do the kandanam, so remove the rice from it. Kandanam. So, there is just to live your life, there is a violence. Everyday violence. And therefore, at first step of non-violence is that Panchayagyat pranashyati. There are 5 types of yajna, which is called Mahayajna. So through these 5 yajnas, we get rid of this papa. Whatever papa we are incurring, we get rid of that. So therefore, human life, there is a violence. So what are the 5 Mahayajnas? Swadhyaya Brahma Yajna. That means every day you have to study Shastra. If you don't know Sanskrit, read translation. Listen to somebody. Study of the Shastra every day. So Adhyaya Brahma Yajna. Tarpanaha Pitru Yajna. Tarpana. Donation on name of our ancestors, our parents. Pitru Yajna. Homau Daivaha. Homa. Every day we perform home or puja. Daily puja. Daily Shivalinga Abhishekam. So daily puja is Deva Yajna. Balir Bhautah. Bhuta Yajna is what? Bali. Bali means not killing, understand? Offering the food and water to the animals. You know, a lot of villages in Gujarat, when they make this chapati, there are first three chapatis are for cow, dog, and crow. This kolam in South India. Previously, it used to be the rice flour. With rice flour, you make a kolam. So ants, sparrow, they come and eat it. Bhuta Yajna. You put lot of people, they do like rice or jawar, every day morning they put it. So the pigeons, parrots, sparrow, crow, they come and eat it. Bhuta Yajna. No, Swamiji, we are living in an apartment. Where there is a crow or cow or dog? Okay. Then give donation to the Goshala. Then Bhuta Yajna. Then fourth one. स्वाध्यायः ब्रह्मयज्ञः तर्पणं पितृयज्ञः बलिर्भूत. So animals, devatas, rishi yajna, brahma yajna. Atithi pujanam nru yajna. So other human beings you help, not only atithi, helping other human beings. So you help other human beings. That's the fifth one. 4 are gone. Devata, Bhuta, Pitru, Brahma, Rishi Yajna. 4. Fifth is Nru Yajna. You help other human beings. See, therefore, that building the temple, starting the school education system, building the temple, that also is Dhru Yajna. Annakshetra, Sanskrit Pathshala you start. All this is come under the Dhru Yajna. You help others, even hospital, building the hospital, health. Food, health and education. And then temple. So, this is the way we get rid of our daily violence. Because you cannot avoid the violence. Then The highest form of the violence is what? This is what Bhagavan says. Atmopamyena sarvatra samam pashyati. That's the highest form of non-violence. We have to get that. Until and unless you get the self-knowledge, there is a violence. Self-knowledge is only the vision of equanimity is the only way of non-violence. Highest form of them. So, Bhagavan is telling, this is the vision of the wise person. Sarvatra Panditaha Samadarshinaha, 5th chapter. Sarvatra Samadarshana, 6th chapter. Atmaupamyena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati Oja. That's a vision of Vedanta, vision of wise person. And that is the highest form of violence. We have to get it. We don't hurt ourselves. We don't hurt others also. Therefore, there are a lot of other verses are there. Just few verses I'm taking to show you that there is a equanimity from the standpoint of the karma and karma phala. There is a equanimity from the standpoint of the devotion. There is a equanimity from the standpoint of the knowledge, self-knowledge. And once you develop this, life is very easy. That's why Bhagavan says that prasad buddhi. What is the outcome of prasad buddhi? Outcome of the knowledge is total non-violence. But what is the outcome of karma yoga? What is the outcome of that samatva buddhi? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi asya upaja. If you develop that prasad buddhi, you get rid of all kinds of the hani, means destruction of the all kind of the pain in your life. Because there is no conflict. Karma yoga means you live the life of minimum conflict. So Bhagavan says that prasanna chetasa. Prasanna chetasu hiyasu buddhi paryavati. One who has developed the prasad buddhi, for him the self-knowledge is ashu. Ashu means tatkal, immediate. If you develop that samatva, you develop that cheerful mind, cheerful acceptance, self-knowledge is not going to be difficult for you. Ashu means immediate you get the self. So, samatvam buddhi, prasad buddhi helps us for the self. Devotion helps us to treat everyone as a Bhagavan. And self-knowledge, samatvam is there, which makes us fully non-violence person. Any question? Anybody?
Thank you, Swamiji, for a wonderful session on Samatvam. I see we have one question. How to practice Samatvam in daily transactional life in today's world, where a majority of people are violent, jealous, and selfish? How do we protect ourselves if we see everyone as Ishwaras? Please give practical tips.
See, that's why I mentioned this, that there are two types of the violence. Violence of other and violence of the self. You know, this is what is important. That if somebody is creating issue for you, jealousy, competition. So first thing is that you protect yourself. You don't allow the person to enter in your personal space. Understand this. But in the process of not allowing other person to not entering your space, don't hurt that person also. We have to be very careful. Suppose you are in your job, wherever you are having a job or business, there is competition is going to be there. So you have to present yourself as not a competitor, as a co-worker. if you develop that okay, I'm not competing with you, we are co-worker, we are working, you have this job to do, I have this job to do, and we are working together. So you develop that kind of the environment that everybody thinks that, okay, I am doing my job. Co-worker, not competitor. Second thing, if somebody is jealous of you, there is a one positive thing about jealous, which we miss. Anybody has a jealousy because the person sees something good in you. Do you understand? He sees something good in you, which is better than himself or herself. Therefore, he has a jealousy. So jealousy means he's seeing some good quality in you. That means he's appreciating your good quality. So now you see that he's seeing something good in me, something better than himself or herself, then I help him to go to that particular place. I help him to develop that quality. Then he won't have jealousy. Do you understand what I'm telling? Because jealousy means he's seeing something good in you. So you make him develop the said good thing in him. Help him. Let him have jealousy, but you help him. Put him in that platform. So there won't be jealousy. Once he develops that quality, he won't have jealousy for you. And other thing, as you need to have your own space, give others also their space. Sometimes what happens is, we think that we are very wise person. So we always try to advise somebody, or tell somebody, oh, you know what? You should not do this way. Who are we to tell somebody? In Sanskrit, we say, aprushtam ma bruyat. Until and unless person asks you, don't advise anybody. And therefore, we have to have this whole world is full of conflict, full of competition. Understand? But we have to protect ourselves and we have to help others also to grow. That's the only way. And therefore, if we want others to grow, first step is that we accept the person. You accept the person with his jealousy, with his competitive mind, with his whatever quality he doesn't have. Understand? With all his limitations, you make that person feel that you are accepting that person. That acceptance will help him to get rid of jealousy, competition. So it's our job to make other person feel that I accept the person. Understand? That acceptance is required. I accept you with all your limitations. Not word by understand. Don't tell that. He will react. Who are you to see my limitations? It's your behavior. It's your conduct which makes that person feel that I am acceptable to this person. If you are acceptable, if he thinks that he or she is acceptable to you, he won't have jealousy or competition with you. Do you understand? That is what we need to do. We need to see, I accept everybody with all limitations.
Thank you. Thank you, Swaminiji. I think that is a very, very practical way of cultivating samatvam. I think it is not easy to practice. So all the trouble comes in when one tries to practice, and so samatvam is also one. But as you rightly said, it is very, very important to accept others with all their faults. That will also unburden ourselves with a lot of stress that we have. It will in a sense unburden ourselves also from the negative thoughts. What I found very, very fascinating about the lecture is also the notions of the Mitra, Ari, etc., which are usually in the Arthashastra and all, given in the context of geopolitics, you also explained here in the context of an individual, and how we can see and we usually perceive people around us using these same categories, and the need to develop samatvam even in that context. So thank you very much, Swamiji, for such a wonderful and a very important topic. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Hari Om.
Since we do not have any more questions, we will conclude today's session of Weekend with Wisdom. And we look forward to have you, Swaminiji, in the future also to
Sure.
teach us more such practical and spiritual lessons to improve our life. Thank you very much.
I
again.
always tell that people think that I know Gita, but look at this Gita. It's so much depth is there, so much depth we have to get into. Not only the verse by verse, samatvam, knowledge, yoga, we did all these things. We have to develop that vision. That Gita is such a depth. More you go there, more you get the vision. So I'm very happy that I'm being invited and I'm given being chance to share my knowledge. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Swaminiji. We will conclude the session now. Thank you, everyone. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
We'll do the prayer.
Yes, Swamiji.
Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Hari Om